What's happening, everybody? Today I want to talk to you about ML drums from ML Sound Lab. Now, if you're not familiar with ML Sound Lab, they're mainly known for their guitar amp plugins and their IRs. Miko, who runs ML Sound Lab, is well known for doing stuff with Neural DSP, Fractal, and of course ML Sound Lab, his own company. And now, as of a few months ago, they've put their hat into the ring of drum plugin libraries. So that's what we're going to check out today, ML Drums, the free version, and we're going to compare it to two other drum sample libraries, one from Get Good Drums and then a third mystery one, which, spoiler alert, is also free. So two free ones, one paid one. We're going to play a demo, you try to guess which is which, and then we'll dive into the computer. I'll show you which is which, play some other samples, and let you come to your own conclusions, and I'll throw in my opinion as well. So that's the plan. Let's get into it. Okay, so welcome back. We're at the desk now. I got the computer open. I've got the Logic Pro session open on the computer. And as you can see here are our drum tracks. And we've got the ML drums kit, like I said, is kind of the highlight here. And then the third one, the mystery one, is another free one, the MT Power Kits. And this is a kit that I started with, used for quite a while. It is pretty good. Free, like I said, and gives you a decent amount of variety. It's got its own little mixer we'll talk about in a second, as well as its own grooves it comes with, which is pretty cool. So then, last but not least, of course, we have Get Good Drums, and we're using the Architects kit, which is the main one that I use for everything. It has become my default. I think it is great out of the box, like we are here. I've done, a couple changes in the mixer here. I have got my own little preset saved. But then I also have another template that I use for my songwriting where I multi out all of the pieces and process them individually, get my buses going and all that jazz. But we're not doing that today. It's not a mix kind of tutorial, just giving you an overview of how I set up this project. But as we can see, if we open up the mixer view, none of these have any extra processing. We've just got my mix bus, which we're not going to dive into because that's not what this video is about. So if we go back up here and let's play this again. So there's the song once again, and now this time you can see the different drum kits and where they're playing their parts. So just a quick context, not that you guys probably care, but I did the guitars, then the bass, and then I actually used the Get Good kit, and I drug all of these little drum parts out from different groove packs that I have, and then I just copy and pasted them to each drum track, and some of them are slightly different. Like you can see here, the ML Sound Labs kit has different MIDI than the other two. It didn't have whatever symbol I was using. And then you can see that this fill kind of part here is slightly different on them as well. And, you know, you're going to have that. Each kit has different pieces, and that's a great segue. Let's dive into them. So this is a fairly simple kit, and like I said, I believe at the beginning, there are two versions. There's this free version we have here, then there is a paid upgrade for like $30, and you unlock these parts that you can see are missing here. And you also get different pieces for or different samples for each of them. So like you'll get different snares, different mics, different kicks and different mics, and then of course the rest of these cymbals. But for the free one, I think it's a solid starting ground and it sounds pretty good. Let's just click through it real quick. Not bad, and for free, you know, it's tough to beat. This does have presets, but I just went with the default one, but I did use the mixer a little bit, and I actually did this part of this quite a while ago, so I don't remember exactly what I changed compared to the defaults. I would imagine that all of these were at noon-ish, but I don't know, and I don't want to undo it and then mess it up. But anyway, as you can see, this mixer page is actually pretty solid. It gives you some EQ moves, mid, high, low, and then how much of the room, reverb, overhead. So it gives you control over some of the bleed, which is actually pretty cool. I don't think many other drum plugins do that, but at the same time, I don't know every drum plugin out there, so don't quote me on that. But you also have this little compressor knob, and then on your cymbals, you get the pan, and then an overall compressor and some other EQ moves here on your master bus, and of course your different faders. So I just think that's pretty cool. It's something that not every other thing has, and it's just another layer of customization you can do without getting too complex. Usually people will multi-out their kit pieces and then process them individually that way. I have another template where I do my songwriting, and that's how I have it set up. And then anyway, of course, moving on, you have your MIDI. So there's the default one, which is what I'm using here, but there is, I don't know what AD is, Gecko drums, general MIDI, Superior, and I'm guessing Steven Slate drums. So I probably could have changed this, but there's not that many pieces. So that's pretty much what you're working with. And then if we just kind of play through this again. And there you go, that's how the ML drums sound in solo, which I think are pretty good. It's not my favorite sounding of these kits, but you know, for like the 15th time now, it is free, which you are going to be hard pressed to beat. And for fairness, let's just go through the rest of these. I'm just going to go through the sections that I have in the song instead of like the whole track over and over again and bore you guys. So that's how each of these sound individually. If we kind of continue down the list, give you a quick overview of the other ones. So like I said, this is MT Power Drum Kit, which is a great little free kit. It, you know, has a couple extra parts to it compared to the ML Drum Kit. If we open that up and put these side by side, you can see that you get an extra tom and you get, what is it, like one more cymbal. But of course it's going to sound different. They all sound different. That's kind of the point. Nothing fancy, but you know, it does the job just as well. It also has a mixer section, although not quite as detailed. You do have these little compressors down at the bottom, which I think is pretty cool, and then your levels and pans. and then your general level here. I did my best to match the volume of all these, so hopefully that's in the ballpark. And then another cool feature in this one is the grooves it has. So you've got your time signatures, 6/8, 4/4, shuffle, which I'm guessing is kind of like a swing, 4/4, 4/4, and then your different BPMs. So that's pretty cool. You can click into these and then it has different ones. And then you can even go ahead and drag these onto the compose line here. Might just do a handful. I don't know. Let's just throw fills in between everything. And there you go. Now you pretty much have a little song built into this part here. It'll bring all your MIDI. And then I don't remember exactly how you do it, but somehow you can drag this. Yeah. So then you can just drag that whole composition basically onto your timeline, and there you go. Now you have your own little song from these grooves into one MIDI section. So that gets a couple extra points from my book. I think that's pretty cool, especially for something that's free. And then last but not least, this also has your mapping. Now, I don't believe there are any presets included. It's just, yeah, you get what you get, but then you can change these as you see fit. You can load and export, so if you like change it all to like Gecko drums, for example, you can export that and then import it into other projects. Makes it a little easier. So MT Power Kit, I think, is a great thing to check out if you're new to this world. Like I said, it's free. It has a couple cool features built into it, and it sounds all right. And last but not least, we are using Gecko Drums Architects, which is my favorite kit. It is the one I use the most. I have a writing template where I have this multi-outed, and then I process each individual kit piece and do all that jazz, but we're not going to get into that here because it is not a mixing video. But we'll just click around this to show you what it sounds like. So obviously, as you can see, it's quite more expansive than the other ones, but it is more expensive at $69. Nice. And you get your parallel and master EQ buttons, as well as a mixer. However, that is kind of the one cool thing that the other two have that this one doesn't, is that the mixer section is pretty much just levels. So your general kick, snare, tom, whatever. And then your balancing of how much you want to hear in the other areas. So like there's no reverb on the kick, pretty little room. And then you come over to the snare where the room is quite a bit more and there's more reverb, so on and so forth. So I think that is what makes the Gecko stuff favorable to multi-outs, and then you can process them individually that way. And if you've used any of the Gecko drum stuff, you'll know that they all look more or less the same nowadays. So you've got your articulations and your different hits that you can map that way, and then this also has presets like the ML drums, but they're just their own presets. I generally used to use the Invasion one that is the default, but here I did the general MIDI, so it'd be easier to copy and paste onto the other tracks. And then of course the Gecko drum stuff has their own groove player. These are all the ones that I have, and I'm pretty sure that's what I did here. I just made the song and then went through and found stuff. And then I just drag it onto the timeline and copy and paste it for the other ones. And then that's how we get here. I just soloed basically each part of each kit that I wanted to hear. And that's kind of an overview of, this project, my thoughts, what have you. I think they all sound pretty good. They're all different, of course, but that is music for you. Everything is subjective. So whatever fits your project better, whatever you like, have your own preferences. I encourage you to check out both of the free ones because why not? They're free, and I think they're pretty great for what they are. Personally, I like the Gecko drum stuff, and I'm probably not going to move away from that because that's what I built my workflow around. But if you're just starting out and you don't really know anything about drums, definitely check out the other ones. There are different companies that sell the groove packs. Gecko drums, you can buy all theirs. Eurig tone or whatever it is. I'll put it on the screen here. It's another library of different MIDI packs. So, but that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys found this helpful or informative somehow. I hope you enjoyed the little tune I made, and that's an overview of ML Drums and MT Power Kit and Gecko Drums Architects. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I'm going to be trying to do more audio, music related videos like this going forward, and your support would be great. So that's going to do it for me. I'm going to shut up now and hope you guys go out and make some sick tunes. See you in the next one.